Joey Logano uses fuel strategy again to win in Las Vegas and be the first driver to punch his ticket into the championship four, but heartbreak for Christopher Bell, who led 155 laps. Let's break down NASCAR's playoff race in Las Vegas. Hello everybody, welcome to Dirty Air. I'm your host Alex Lambert, and let's break down this year's NASCAR playoff race, the opening race of the round of 8, and for the third time, Joey Logano has won the opening race of this round. The previous two times, it was at Martinsville once, Las Vegas a couple of years ago, 2018, 2022. Joey Logano went on to win the championship. Joey Logano is the first driver to punch himself into the Final Four, the championship race at Phoenix in a few weeks' time. Christopher Bell, heartbreaking loss for him. He dominated the race, led 155 laps today. We'll break that down. We'll take a look at the entire top 10. We saw a massive crash that took out 3 playoff drivers and all in one hit of the 8. We'll break that down. We'll look at the points, look at the results. Let's take a dive into an action-packed Las Vegas NASCAR race. It was calm at the start of the race, right? You saw Christopher Bell sort of, pulling away. It looked like Christopher Bell was the guy to beat, and he was all day long. Martin Truex Jr. tried to find a way to catch him. William Byron tried to find a little bit of speed in the closing laps of the race to catch Christopher Bell, who was dominating. And Christopher Bell, unfortunately, in the closing laps of the race, did not have enough time to catch Joey Logano, who skipped a final pit stop. Joey Logano did not make a final stop on that final fuel run, and he was able to save just enough to beat Christopher Bell. One more lap in this race, God forbid 2 more laps in this race, Christopher Bell is most likely taking the checkered flag and winning and punching his ticket into the next round, and that's certainly important to keep in mind. Christopher Bell really fast, going to a similar racetrack next week in Miami, so we're going to have to watch the 20 car of Christopher Bell moving forward. But man, huge win for Joey Logano. And we talk about when we get in this point of the playoffs, right? This is when the big moments happen. This is when it's time to step up and win a championship. And this is why, this used to drive me crazy when I was younger and watching Joey Logano win championships. Now I think I'm a little more accustomed to it. But, 2018, Joey Logano was not the best team, not the best driver all season long. But when it came down to the playoffs, when he got second to last round of the playoffs, Logano got a win, punched his ticket in, and was able to win his championship in Miami. You go back to 2022, same type situation. Joey Logano wasn't really a dominant driver or a clear championship favorite like we've seen others in the past, but Joey Logano, when it was the time to step up, punch his ticket into the championship race, have a couple of weeks to work on that car in Phoenix, won that 2022 championship, and we could see something very similar coming from Joey Logano very soon. Christopher Bell, I don't know what to tell Christopher Bell. This is one of those situations where he just got beat, right? I think he did everything he could have. He maneuvered the lap cars in the last 30, 40 laps completely perfectly. I think there was one instance where we looked at it and we were like, okay, that cost him a lot of time, but I don't think that was the key moment that stopped him from winning. I don't think he was going to catch Logano with the amount of laps left anyway. Once I said all he needed was 1 or 2 more laps, he would have got there. But man, Christopher Bell did everything perfect. Pit crew executed perfectly, so they just got beat by Joey Logano. Joey Logano obviously showing immense amount of talent, saving fuel. Ryan Blaney giving him some pushes in the final lap. So really frustrating loss for Christopher Bell. But once again, he's going to be strong moving forward. And I like, if we look at all the playoff guys, right? Christopher Bell, William Byron, even Denny Hamlin, they've all said one thing: we need to win. So they're not looking at this point in the playoffs, in this round, nobody's looking to get results anymore, right? They're looking to win the race, and that's important to keep in mind when we go to Miami and Martinsville moving forward. Let's take a look at the entire top 10 real quick, right? You had Logano, Christopher Bell, Daniel Suarez, who was trying to win the race but just didn't have enough speed and sort of was, trying to fuel save as well, had tires worn out, was on the same strategy as Logano, but ultimately finished third. So, a good try by Suarez in the 99 team, but just couldn't quite execute and get the win at Las Vegas. William Byron, a nice 4th place finish. I believe he's finished top 4 in the last 4 races. So once again, you talk about key moments, William Byron getting closer to getting over that hump, trying to win. And William Byron in his post-race interview said, win is what we're trying to achieve right now. So they're getting the results. They have a lot of points above the cut line, but they're looking for a race win to guarantee their spot in Phoenix. And then, of course, you got to try to go win in Phoenix if you make the Final Four. Alex Bowman, heartbreak last week following Last week's disqualification, car didn't weigh enough following the Charlotte race. Unfortunately, he was eliminated from the playoffs after the checkered flag. That's really frustrating, but showed a lot of speed today. Alex Bowman in the 5th place position. I think that says a lot about the driver of the 48 team, and we'll have to monitor him going into 2025. Martin Truex Jr. still looking for that final win. Looked like he had a little bit for Christopher Bell at points in this race, but is never able to clear him, never able to get by him and lead laps. Martin Truex Jr. 6th place finish. Chastain 7th, who's been fast at these types of racetracks all season long. Denny Hamlin using a lot of strategy, right? Using that same strategy Logano did to really help him out, because he was going to finish 25th, 20-something, if not for the strategy move. Was able to gain a lot of points, and he's still a lot of points below the cut line. We'll take a look at it, but 8th place finish for Denny Hamlin's a lot better than what he was going to get. They didn't get any stage points, though. We'll break down Denny Hamlin's day a little farther. Nemechek finishing in the 9th position after a bit of a rough day, right? They had some issues early on, was able to recover. So a nice finish for John Hunter Nemechek, finishing 9th in the Legacy Motor Club Toyota, one of their first top 10s that I've read in a long time. Chris Buescher, 9th, 10th place finish for him. Let's take a look real quick at the playoff drivers, right? Let's take a look at their results today. Winner, Joey Logano, Christopher Bell 2nd, William Byron 4th, Denny Hamlin 8th, Kyle Larson 11th. So I've highlighted those guys in green because that's okay. That's decent finish, right? The problem is the stage points for guys like Denny Hamlin. But Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, and Tyler Reddick are in red. They finished outside the top 30 because of a massive crash coming to lap 90. Let's take a look at it. You see here Chase Elliott involved. Tyler Reddick actually flips on his roof and back over. This was a massive crash. You don't see it in this clip, but Ryan Blaney gets clipped in the rear, and this messes up his toe link. I think they replaced it, but he had a few more mechanical failures. He was trying to ride around. He did ride around for majority of the race, the entire race. He was helping his teammate Logano at the end, but a 32nd place finish is a massive disadvantage for Ryan Blaney. Not only that, this happened in stage 2, so you give up all your stage points for that stage. So very frustrating there. And let's take a look at it, right? Let's take a look at how the points add up. Logano's in, right? First one guaranteed in the championship for Christopher Bell, 42 points above. So 2nd place today, the stage points he earned does matter. But once again, if I'm one of these teams now, I understand what they're saying. Let's go for the race win. You want to win the race, punch yourself in. You don't want to be at Martinsville and something goes wrong and you find yourself sitting on the sideline, sitting on the pit box, hoping that you advance into the next round. That's not what you want to do. That's what you're trying to avoid if you're one of these 8 drivers. Kyle Larson, 35 points above. Great recovery, right? There were issues for all the playoff guys today, it felt like. At least over half the field. Kyle Larson was one of those with playoff issues. They had trouble on pit road with it was the left front at first, or the left rear at first, and they come back down to fix the right rear. Massive disadvantage. Went 2 laps down, but was able to persevere and get back up at the front. And I'll give credit to Cliff Daniels, and I've given Cliff Daniels a lot of credit, the crew chief for the 5 team. The way that he crawls off the pit box, communicates with the pit crew, gets their head back in the game to where they can work efficiently. They're able to execute, finish 11th today. Cliff Daniels does not shine when they're dominating the race. That's not when we're looking at Cliff Daniels. This is when we're looking at Kyle Larson, right? But when this 5 team is behind and they're having issues, they're not doing great, that's when Cliff Daniels shines. Because I go back to Charlotte in 2021 when Larson won the championship. Larson's car was a piece of junk, and they ended up winning that race because of the way Cliff Daniels is able to be a great leader and put Kyle Larson back in position to get a race win. So shout out to Cliff Daniels there for recovering after the issues today. Kyle Larson is currently in the championship 4 as it stands right now. William Byron, solid day, had a lot of points going into today's race, 27 points above with the stage points, with the 4th place finish. Great day for the driver of the 24 machine. Denny Hamlin. Now, you've seen a little bit of a gap created, right? Because these guys below the cut line all had massive issues today. Denny Hamlin, no stage points. I think it was one of the commentators today said they think Denny Hamlin's allergic to stage points. It's a disaster what they've done in the playoffs. They were able to sneak into this round with some lucky situations, but they have not executed well at all throughout the entire playoffs all season. 27 points below the cut line now, Denny Hamlin is. No stage points, mechanical failures early in the season. You go back to like Atlanta, the opening race of the playoffs, where they're having engine trouble at Atlanta. Why? That's not something a Joe Gibbs team should be doing. The playoff pressure is getting not to Denny Hamlin particularly, but the 11 team. And this is when that I need the crew chief, I need the driver, Denny Hamlin, to step up and be a leader and get this team on the right track if you want to go to the championship 4 in Phoenix. That team has been good all season long, and it's ridiculous that they might not make the championship race if you consider how good they are. A lot of missed opportunities all season for the 11 team, and that's important. Tyler Reddick, 30 points below. obviously just wrecking out today. Helped his case a little bit with a stage win, so he was able to win the first stage of the race using a little strategy there as well. But obviously, if you're really anyone below the cut line right now, you're going for the race win. You're going into Miami next week thinking I need to win the race. Ryan Blaney, 47 below, defending champion. You have to go into that thinking you're going to try to win the race. Chase Elliott, 53 points below. It might be mathematically possible, but especially if I'm Chase Elliott, I'm thinking win. And he can do it, right? He can win a race at Miami. He's won at Martinsville before in 2020, the year he won the championship. You know, a common theme I'm saying here is that the champion usually wins a race in the round before. So that's important to keep in mind. Joey Logano is the only one to do it so far. 2 more races to go. Then we head to Phoenix, so it's going to be exciting. There's a lot to look out for heading into the next round in the next couple of races of the NASCAR playoffs. Miami, who does that favor? A couple of drivers. Martinsville, who does that favor? I look at William Byron, who won there earlier in the year, and then you have Phoenix to finish out the NASCAR championship. That's it. That's really all there is to break down. Like I said, it was sort of a tame race outside of a few big key moments, right? I mean, Christopher Bell dominated a majority of the race, and then you have the big crash midway through lap 90 of the 267. Then, of course, you have the strategy that plays out at the end. So we had a few big moments, an exciting race to watch. I really enjoyed watching this. But that's it, really all there is to talk about. Like and subscribe if you like the video. Share the video if you do. I really do appreciate it. And of course, about Kyle Busch outside the top 10 again. Let's get wrapped.